Okay, so this is our Mini T 2.0 brushless from Losi. Um, we had an issue with kingpins. We were missing two. So what I did, and I don't know, this isn't for everybody. If you know what I'm talking about, then you should try it. It works really good. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this might not be for you. So I'm not going to go into the specifics and stuff. I just wanted to run through it real quick. I've already done it, and I wanted to show. I couldn't get the wheel nut off. Always put your wheel nut back on the axle while you're working. I do. Don't go all the way to the nylon part. You don't want to wear it out. But okay, so the kingpins. Those are homemade. See the little slot in the top of it? Oh, it's terrible. There we go. Now you can see it. Okay. What I did, the kingpins were missing. One out of here and one out of there, so I took the extra one from here and put it there, and then I just made two. I thought about putting a straight rod all the way across, and then maybe bending it over or braiding the ends or something like that. And the problem with that is you're still going to have slop because the diameter on the inside of the spindle hole, the hub, the diameter of that is smaller than the diameter out here because these are threaded. Remember, they're kingpins. So the diameter of this hole is bigger. So whatever you put in there to go all the way through is going to be too small and it's going to wobble in here. So you're going to have all that play. But if you notice, I don't have that play. I have the mini T play, but I don't I don't have kingpin play. What I did, I took a nail. I took this nail, one just like this, and I got out my tap and die set. Now this is a cheap tap and die set. I got it at that cheap tool store near your house. You know the one I'm talking about. Everybody has one. They're different names in different places, but the cheap tool store, you know. I found the smallest one I had, and it was still too big for the kingpin holes. But I may do. I have lots of rear arms because I've bought the 4-pack to replace front arms. And you know, when you need a right front arm and then you need another right front arm, you have 3 extra arms. So, yeah, I've got a couple of extras. So I went ahead and tried it with this. I took the smallest one, which is a 4 NC40. Uh, and actually, I started with the 6 because the nail diameter was a bit too big. So I started with the 6 and I just clamped it down on my bench. Because it's a D-head nail, so I didn't have trouble with it rolling. I just clamped it down to my workbench right there. And then I used the 6 and I ran it down. And then I went back with the 440 and I ended up with that. I don't know if you can see it, but that is the nail, but it's all threaded. For some reason, I won't focus on the threads. But anyway, that's threaded. And then I took the tap and I ran the tap in the hole on this and this. Do not run the tap in here. That's the whole thing we're trying to avoid doing is changing diameters of anything. Only tap this hole and this hole. Remember, it's plastic. Don't just. It's going to be easy to ram that tap in there if you want to, but if you do, you're going to break the eyelet. You're just going to snap it. So run the tap easy. Run it in, back it out, run it in, back it out. It's tiny. You think you're not going to break nothing, but you will. So once you get that tapped out, you can take this rod, come down here to the center of your hub, and you see the difference from here to the actual center of the hub. That's how long you want it overall. But from the edge of the hub to the center of the hub, you need to smooth that out. Take your rotary tool. I used a sanding drum actually when I did mine on the rotary tool. I just used a little, yeah. And I took a pencil and I marked half the thickness of the hub. I ran around the edge of that, ground the threads off, and that made it the right diameter to fit into the hub. I keep calling it the hub. I hope that's the right thing. This is the spindle, this is the hub, I guess. But yeah, so that leaves the threads. And then once you've got that, you go ahead and thread it in. Make sure it works. Make sure you're at halfway. Once you like it, take your little cutoff wheel on your rotary tool and cut it off. I left excess out each side, and what I did was take that same cutting wheel and I cut a slot in the head that I left sticking out, and that way I can just take a screwdriver and pop it out. So they're still removable, but it worked really well. There's not slop in there. I mean, I know it's moving all over the place, but that's mini T. I'm just saying the kingpin. If you notice, the arm is moving with the hub, so the kingpin's doing its job, and they're removable. I won't be able to use stock kingpins in this suspension arm again, but like I say, you probably got a few of these laying around because these break and you end up with extra ones of these. But if not, maybe don't try it. But yeah, it's just I didn't want to order kingpins and wait for it and all that. I'm still gonna order them, but I figured I'd try that, and it was just a nail, and I threaded it. So when you get the one done, make sure you do the other side, and you got the other one done, and it was awesome. I actually had fun doing it. I didn't record myself doing it because I was actually having fun. So, all right, thanks. Y'all have a good day. Really quickly, I wanted to go over something I forgot to mention. Make sure the entire time when you're putting this one in and this one in that they aren't binding in the middle, touching each other and pushing the sides of the suspension arms apart. You want to check that. Just keep moving it up and down. Watch your travel. Make sure nothing's binding. Everything's got to flow smooth. And another way to visually inspect while you're doing it is if you'll look right there, you want to make sure there's no gap between the hub assembly and the suspension arm. Right there where my fingernail is. You'll make sure there's no gap there. But while you're doing this, these will get hot. Um, this will get hot. You guys know if you do this kind of stuff. And I want to make sure if you guys are kids, yeah, get your folks to give you a hand. Ask your parents or whoever it is you do this kind of stuff with. Make sure you got somebody who knows what they're doing on this. But yeah, it's actually a lot of fun, and it gets me back up and running. If it lasts a long time, it should last a long time. It's not hardened steel or anything like that. I mean, it's just a nail, but it's inside plastic, so the wear should be pretty minimal. And the stress is, I mean, there's enough flex in the plastic. I can't see the nail bending a whole lot and giving me any grief. But it seems to work really well, and I'll let you guys know if it's a flop or if it works out to last a while. But anyway, that's our little beast. We love it. Y'all have a good one. Bye.